Hey guys, welcome back to the Cooking Cop and Babes channel. I'm your host. I'm Josh. I'm just joshing you. Get it? Anyway, I'm the other shaved head, goatee, good looking guy on YouTube. That's right, I'm the dog father from the Dog Father's Barbecue YouTube channel. And today, doing a channel takeover. That's right, my man Josh isn't feeling too well right now and he can't get some videos made. So hey, bunch of us YouTubers, because we're all YouTube family, we're pitching in and we're making fantastic content to go on Josh and Babe's channel. So today, I'm taking over their channel and I'm going to show you guys how to make Texas style 3-bone plate ribs, aka dino ribs, baby. Let's go. Alright, so that's right guys, we're going to do 3-bone plate ribs is what they're technically called, and a lot of people like to call them dino ribs. Now these are really good meaty beef ribs that, man, I'm sure will fill you up anytime you get hungry. Here in Texas, we actually like to call these brisket on a stick. And I think you'll understand it when you see it. There's a lot of meat to these ribs. We're not talking about little baby finger ribs, you know, these little beef finger ribs or whatever. These are good, meaty, solid ribs that, you know what, it's become a great delicacy here in Texas. So I'm going to show you guys how we're going to get these things rubbed up and get them on the pit. And we're going to make some 3-bone plate ribs, Central Texas style. Here we go. Alright guys, so hey, the first thing that we're going to do to get this going is we got to put together a rub. And we're going to do a great Central Texas style rub. It's just going to be salt and pepper. So let's get this rub put together. Alright, so here we have our kosher salt. And this is just regular kosher salt from my grocery store. You can get it at any grocery store. And this is just coarse ground black pepper, okay? Now this happens to be a 16 mesh that I'm using, but you can use any type of black pepper that you want to. Typically Central Texas, we go with the 16 mesh coarse ground black pepper. Now as far as the ratio goes guys on the salt and pepper, you kind of play around with it to figure out what works for you. A lot of places will go with a 1-to-1, which is 1 part pepper, 1 part salt. Me personally, I kind of prefer to be the 3-to-1 or the 4-to-1, but feel free to play around with whatever ratio you'd like. Alright, so here we've got our container and our salt. We're just going to put some in. We're not even going to measure guys, we're going to eyeball it. Alright, so as you can see there guys, I've probably got maybe a little more than a tablespoon of salt in here, and now we're going to add our black pepper. So we're going to put our lid on, give it a little shake, and there you have it guys. This is going to be our rub. Some people like to call it a Dalmatian rub, you know, Dalmatian, black, white, spot, never mind. This is the rub we're going to use guys, so let's get these ribs rubbed up. Alright, let's go. Alright guys, so hey, as you might have heard, here in Texas we like to do things bigger and better, so we're going with the beef dino ribs today. Now these are going to be plate ribs guys, 3-bone plate ribs that I got from my local grocery store. That's right, you can get these at any grocery store down here, so hey, we're fortunate. But these are going to be some 3-bone beef plate ribs or dino ribs that we're going to get seasoned up and we're going to get onto our grill, so here we go. Alright guys, so here we've got our beef ribs here out of the package ready to get rubbed up here, and you can see we've got a little fat cap here across the top of this, and I'll show you the back side right quick, and you know it's looking pretty good here too. It's got a membrane here, but we are not going to take this membrane off, okay? We're going to leave that on. That's going to help hold these ribs together as we progress through this cook. Alright, so we're going to start here on the back side of this, and I've just got some regular old olive oil here that I'm just going to use for my binder. Now you can use whatever you'd like for your binder. A lot of people like to use mustard. A lot of people hate mustard. But you can use mustard, you can use olive oil, you can use any oil, you can use water, or you can go with no binder at all. It is completely up to you. Now we've got our rub, our Dalmatian rub that we put together, and we're just going to get this all put on here. Just going to sprinkle across. Make sure we get the sides here. And then guys, you're just going to kind of pat it in. You don't ever want to rub the rub around because you get uneven seasoning here. So you just kind of want to pat it in guys. When we get this flipped over, get this side done as well. Give it a good pat, and we're just pressing this in again guys. We're not going to rub, we're just pressing it in, making sure that all of this rub is adhering to the rib nicely for us. Once you get it rubbed up, you see we got the sides done here, back sides looking pretty good here. It's time to get it over to the pit. So alright guys, so hey, today's grill of choice is going to be our Louisiana Grills Kamado K24. That's right. So we're going to be running this with some B&B oak lump charcoal, as well as using some B&B post oak wood chunks for our flavoring today. Now we're going to go ahead and get this thing lit up. We're going to use some tumbleweeds to get the lump charcoal lit up, and then once we've got a good fire going inside with this lump charcoal, we're going to go ahead and reassemble our grill. We're going to get our deflector plate put back on. We're going to get our cooking racks put back in, and we're going to put a water pan in. We're going to put some hot water in this water pan just because it's going to be a little easier for it to come up the temperature and not have to heat up some cold water. So we've got hot water going into this water pan, okay? At that point, we're going to go ahead and get our vents wide open. The top vent's going to go wide open. Our bottom vent's going to go wide open. And we're going to kind of settle this thing out somewhere between 275 and 300 degrees. We're probably going to have that cooking range. It's going to be right in there again, 275 to 300. So once we get to a good solid temperature, 275 to 300, we're going to go ahead and pinch down our vents. And so once we get these vents pinched down, we'll be able to settle into our cooking temperature, and we'll be in it for the long haul, guys. So that's how we're going to get this pit lit up and how we're going to level off our temperatures. Now, I'm not going to go really deeply into how to regulate your cooking temperatures in this video, but feel free to check back with me at any point, and we'll do some videos more into hey, how do you maintain cooking temperatures? All right, but let's get this cook going. Alright guys, so we're just taking a peek here at the 2-hour mark of this cook, and we can see the color is coming along nicely. You know, we're checking for see if our bark is set. Now the bark is referring to the rub that we put on earlier, and what we want to see is we want that to be really adhered to the meat. So if I'm able to move some of this around, that means that our bark is not quite set, and I'm seeing some of this pepper moving around, so I know we're not set quite yet at 2 hours into this cook. So we're going to close it up and let it keep going, guys. Alright, so why exactly are we doing a channel takeover on the Cooking Cops channel? Well, you know, a lot of you may know, but for those of you that don't, Josh is battling stage 4 non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Now, guys, cancer sucks and we all know that. But this is really a bad year for stuff like that to happen, obviously. So what we're doing is we're pitching in because the medical bills are going to be coming in, and you know, they want their money, and Josh and Babe are great people, and so we're trying to help out. Now, how we're helping out here on YouTube is we're creating content to put on their channel to get them more views. So please feel free to share this video out, as well as any of their videos out, to anybody that you know that can watch the videos. Now here's how you can help. Watch the videos, or at least have a playlist of theirs playing in the background somewhere, and you can turn the volume down on it and just let it play. The video plays will absolutely help them out monetarily, but if you don't want to do that and you just want to contribute, guys, there's an organization called Fund the First that we've got a campaign set up for Josh and Babe, and I'm going to put the link down below so you guys can go there and check it out. But Fund the First is a great organization that helps out our first responders, and Josh is a first responder. Josh is actually a cop, cooking cop. Kind of understand what I'm saying? He's a cop in LA, guys, and we want to take care of our guys in blue. So feel free to check out the link below. Contribute with what you can, $1, $2, $5, $10, whatever. Everything counts at this point. So let's help Josh out, and man, let's watch these videos. Let's share out the videos. Let's go ahead and hit that link down there below and contribute if you can, but just get this information out to as many people as you can, because we're trying to take care of our brother Josh and Babe, Cooking Cop and Babe. So hey guys, stay strong. Josh, we got you. We're your family. But hey, let's get back to this video, alright? Alright, so let's talk about what we're doing with this cook today, guys. We're doing beef ribs. That's right, 3-bone plate ribs. Now, it's very easy to cook, okay? We got this seasoned up with our S&P or our Dalmatian rub, and we're using our Louisiana grills back here, our Kamado 24. Now all we got to do with this is just get it rubbed like we did and get it onto the grill. We're going to run our grill between 275 and 300 degrees, and I'm estimating this cook is probably going to take us in the neighborhood of 5 or 6 hours, maybe a little bit more. We'll see how that goes, but we're just getting a good smoke onto these ribs, and we're going to decide later if we're going to go ahead and wrap them up in butcher paper. I typically like to do butcher paper if I wrap beef because I like to keep a firm bark, but a lot of people like to use foil. There's nothing wrong with that. Go with whatever works for you. But we'll decide if we're going to wrap it up, or we might just cook it the entire cook unwrapped. But we're basically looking for tenderness. Now a lot of people always want to know, well, what's your cooking temperature? What's your internal temperature? Guys, internal temperature, this guy here, I don't worry about that. I'm worried about tenderness. If I tell you that, hey, pull these ribs at 200 degrees and they're not quite tender enough, you know what? That's probably not what you want. So always go with tenderness, guys. So we're gonna probe tender it today, and when we've got the tenderness that we're looking for, that's when we'll pull it off. And it's the same principle when I'm cooking brisket. Cook the tenderness, guys. So anyway, simple cook, got it on our pit. We're just letting it roll here, 275 to 300, and we'll check back later and see what's going on with these ribs. All right, guys? All right. Hey guys, this is the 4-hour mark, and as you can see, our temperatures are holding pretty solid there, right around 285, 290, and it's been like that rock solid since we started this cook. 0 adjustments. Basically, that's just how efficient these Kamado cookers are. All right, guys. Hey, we just hit our 4-hour mark in this cook, and we're gonna take a look at these ribs and see how they're coming along. Now, if the ribs are ready at this point, we're gonna pull out our trusty little spray bottle here, and we're gonna go ahead and spritz these ribs if they need it. All right, so let's crack this open and take a look at these ribs, guys. Let's go. All right, let's get this open. We're looking pretty good here. Got some great pullback coming here on the bones there. Everything's looking pretty good. Our bark is looking pretty good here. We're gonna go ahead and spritz it a little bit. And I'm spritzing all over because I just wanna make sure this whole thing stays nice and moist here. Typically you just wanna spritz where you really need it, but we're gonna do the whole thing. And this is just water that's in this bottle, guys, just straight water. All right, we'll get it closed up and let it keep rolling. All right, guys, so we just hit the 7-hour mark in this cook. Went a little over because I was doing a live stream, but it's all good. So here we go. We're gonna give these a poke. Now again, as I say, I use my ThermoPro here. This is just my thermometer. I'm not worried about the temperature, guys. We're using this strictly to see how tender it is, and we want to go in with no resistance, and look at that. We are going in this thing nice and easy. That is what we want to see. We don't care about an internal temperature, but because I know some of you are going to ask anyway, we're at 204 degrees, 203.7 there, guys. 206 on this side, 207, and it's a smaller, thinner side. But so anyway, we're going to go ahead and get these ribs off. Alright guys, so let's do a recap of what we did with today's cook. So we got us some dino beef ribs from our local HEB or our grocery store. We didn't trim any of the fat off. The fat cap on it was pretty thin, and you know what, is good for if you're doing keto or carnivore or whatever. That's some good fat that you can actually gnaw on there. So we didn't take any of the fat off, we left that on there. We put together a rub today, which is basically a Central Texas rub, which is salt and pepper, and we ran that ratio of pepper to salt about 3 to 1, maybe slightly 3.5 to 1 pepper to salt. And that's what we put onto this rib today. So we seasoned it with that Dalmatian rub. So we seasoned it with this Dalmatian rub, salt and pepper, and we got it onto our cooker. Now today we're using our Kamado 24 from Louisiana Grills, and we're using some B&B lump charcoal along with some B&B post oak wood chunks. That's what we used for our flavor today. We installed a water pan into this cooker so that we can keep a moist cooking environment when we smoke these ribs. So we got these ribs put onto the cooker and we went and smoked it on. Now we came back after a couple of hours just to check and make sure that our rub was, see if it was set. It wasn't quite set yet. And so we just keep rolling with that temperature around 290 degrees to keep cooking these ribs away, guys. We didn't want to spritz it at that point because we want to make sure our rub is set before we start to spritz. If you start spritzing before your rub is set, you'll wash away that rub and lose your flavor. That's not what we're looking for. Basically, that's all we did. We didn't do anything special with this cook. We checked on it here and there. If it seemed like it was getting dry, we spritzed a little here and there. If not, we just let it keep rolling. We didn't care about an internal temperature. We're just cooking and smoking this thing away until we got to a good probe tender point. And that took us about 6.5 hours. I went a little long because, again, I did a live stream, for Josh and Babe, and, getting people out and making sure they're aware to come check them out. And so we ran a little long. So this whole entire cook took me about 7 hours today, from the time we got it onto the grill to the time we pulled it off. And so now you are caught up with what we did with today's cook. So let's go test out these ribs. All right, let's go. All right, guys, so here we have our beef ribs. I just cut a couple of them off, and you can see these things are just massive. Look how thick that is. We got a little bit of a smoke ring there. Hopefully you guys can actually see that. A little smoke ring there on the edges. Nothing too deep, but hey, it's still a little smoke ring. Nice and juicy. So, let's take a bite of this. Look at there. Man, all right, gotta go in on this. But hey, before I bite into this rib, guys, please make sure you subscribe to the Cooking Cop and Babes channel. Make sure you click on that notification bell so you know every time they upload a video. Give them a thumbs up. Share it out to everybody you can, guys. And if you're the praying type, send some prayers to my brother Josh. All right, let's go in. Man, I'm telling you, it doesn't get any better than a Central Texas style beef rib. This right here, guys. Man. All right, see y'all in the next video. I'm out. About to get into these ribs.